get started. All right, so you were originally a jiu-jitsu fighter. What made you say, "Hey, I want to start an MMA career now"?
I mean, it was always something I wanted to do. Like when I started jujitsu, I thought I would do MMA. Like that was kind of like the goal, but then I kind of fell in love with jujitsu, and then my goals that all my I guess the things that I wanted to do were like more aligned with jiu-jitsu at the time.
Mhm.
So once I got to a point where, I'm like was kind of more satisfied, I'm like, maybe I'll just try this thing finally.
Mhm. What was going through your mind when you originally got the call to fight on the legendary Bellator 300 card?
I was just so excited to have a fight. Like I like was really getting frustrated because I wanted to fight sooner than that fight. My first fight with Bellator was in February, and then I was hoping to fight like, I was supposed to was hoping to fight in July, and then it was August, and I'm like, nope, they're not getting me
Mhm.
fights. What's going on? Like I
Just
really
keep
just want
pushing
to
it back.
fight. Yeah. And so then finally I was like, it's in San Diego. I told my manager, I'm like, if I'm not on the card, like I'm gonna be so mad. And he's like, you're gonna be on the card, you're gonna be on the card. And I'm like, okay. So then when they finally sent me the name, it was just like, I was like, it's Bellator 300, it's in my hometown, and like I'm actually fighting. Yay.
hmm Yeah, and I was going to ask you, did you have an extra chip on your shoulder knowing that you were fighting in your hometown?
I mean, not necessarily. It's like for me, I don't necessarily like let those kinds of things get to me. It's just I want to win no matter what. So it just I don't think about too much other than like it's just another fight, and I got to go out there and I got to do my job and get the win.
Yeah, for sure. What was your game plan going into that fight?
I just wanted to get it to the ground no matter what. Like that's my, where I'm the strongest. So, that was my goal, is just to get it to the ground and get a finish however I could.
Yeah, I remember when you originally tripped her down to the ground, you had a lot of options there. I think you got her back at one point, you were ground and pounding her, and then you eventually got her arm. Like, as soon as you got her down, did you have anything in mind, like, this is what I want to do to her now?
No, not necessarily. It's like because the second time when we got to the ground, off like the little foot sweep, I know she had like double like overhooks on my arms, and she was holding me. So I just like passed, like I was like working on just like passing to the mount, and just like my whole goal is just like be safe, like keep your position, don't lose position, do what I got to do. So I was like use my face to grind into her face a little bit to like annoy him, like
hmm
annoy her to get her to like loosen up on my arms. So I wasn't like exposing myself, trying to overcommit to pulling my arms free, and then like little shoulder punches to like get that. And then once I had that, I was just like, all right, whatever is available. That's the cool thing about like doing jujitsu for so long, is like I feel very confident on taking whatever comes my way, like whatever opportunity they give me. And then when you're able to punch people and do jiu-jitsu at the same time, it's like that
Makes it a
opens
lot
up even
easier.
more opportunities.
Yeah. You're 6-0 now with 3 subs. You have a bright future ahead of you. Can you describe some of the goals you have set in place?
My goal is to get that title. That's like what I'm looking for. It's like the moment that I after my first fight in MMA, I was like, that's what I'm here for. I want to be the best. I want to prove to everybody that I am the best. And so, whatever that looks like, however I get there, like that's my goal. Like, why would I shoot for anything less?
Yeah, for sure. Can you go into detail a little bit about your LFA career and getting the phone call of getting into Bellator?
So what that was, I got into LFA right off the bat. It was an awesome opportunity. They're a fantastic organization, and it was one of those things where it took me a while to get fights. It was really hard. I didn't do any amateur fights. But having the jiu-jitsu pedigree, it seemed like that kind of scared a lot of people off on wanting to fight me. So that was like frustrating, but that's not, the promotion's fault ever. That's just the nature of the business. And so um I knew that I needed to get like at least 4 fights under my belt. That's what my contract was with them, just to like have the opportunities in some of the bigger leagues. And so after my last fight with LFA, um, my manager had told me that Bellator was interested and they were like really excited about me. So I was like, all right, let's do it.
Mhm. Can you describe your typical training routine?
My training usually is like typically I'll do like Monday, Wednesday, or like kind of have a pretty set routine. I like to have my routine even when I'm not in camp. I just add a little bit extra when I am in have a fight coming up. But do like a lot of some striking, strength conditionings on like Monday, Wednesdays. Tuesdays are like a heavy grappling day. I'll do like jujitsu and wrestling Tuesday, Thursdays, sparring, mixed in like twice a week. Um, yeah, so I'm just trying to do as much as I can. Strength conditioning, striking, jujitsu, wrestling. It's at least 2 or 3 sessions a day.
Nice. You're the number one ranked fighter, a woman fighter in California, pound for pound. How does it feel to hold that ranking?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Good information. Yeah.
What would you say was the most memorable win in your career so far?
Um, I don't know. I mean, this last one kind of like stands out just because it was such a
Yeah,
like
it was pretty
it
crazy.
was like here, it was like, I was in San Diego, it was like in front of like all my students and my friends, and it was on like a really epic card. So,
Mhm.
and just to get the win like that one's probably
It's gonna go
right
down in
as of right
history.
now, yeah.
How do you handle the mental and physical pressures of fighting MMA?
I would say the mental part of it's probably like the hardest part, for I would say for a lot of most athletes, I think would say that the physical for me, it's just like I love to train. I'm like, it's really maybe a problem. I have an addiction to like just training. So, like Monday, like I just fought Saturday. Monday I was back in the gym working out. I've trained every day this week. And so that's something that I just really enjoy doing. I want to always stay in shape, stay fit. I'm not the type of person that likes to like only train when I'm in camp because I feel like a lot of people do that. But the mental part of it for me, um, it's not that bad until I start getting like closer to the fight. Then I start getting a little bit anxious. But in my training sessions, I'm a little bit cranky. I'm a little bit like everything needs to be perfect. It didn't go perfectly well. Like I didn't perform exactly right. Like it starts getting to me a little bit, just from like an emotional standpoint. But and then fight night, like or fight week, I kind of like to distract myself a little bit. I like to keep things really chill and calm and like just very like lighthearted because for it puts more pressure on me when I'm like super trying to be like super zoned in, locked into the
Mhm.
fight. I like to just keep it almost my mind distracted on the what I'm about to do because when I stop and think about it, there's always a moment there I'm like, this is insane. Like, what am I doing? Why am I locking myself in a cage with another person and just we're fighting? Like that's wild. But um once we start going, it's just now I'm just training.
Mhm. Are you the type of person where like you feel like you're going crazy if you don't train for a long time?
Oh yeah, yeah. I have to be training. I'm like, if anytime I've had like any kind of like injury or issues, I'm just like I get really upset because I'm like, how long am I gonna have to take off for this? If I'm not
Mhm.
sweating every day, like it makes me a little bit cuckoo.
Mhm. Can you talk about like some of the challenges you had in your career with, injury wise?
I've been really, really lucky. I haven't had a lot of like major injuries, just little things here and there, the wear and tear in the body from a lot of jujitsu. It's like, you get little things here and there, like your elbows or whatever, they get like tendonitis and
Hmm.
stuff like that. I've separated my shoulder in the past. That was probably a
Wow.
pretty significant actually I separated both shoulders, but it's like not too terrible. It's like, you take a little time off. Well, no, I actually didn't take time off. I just like
You
rolled
just
through it.
powered through
Don't
it.
use one arm. Yeah. It's like you wind up working around. That's like my strategy is like, okay, I have an injury. What can I do? Like I like popped my LCL a while back and I was just like the first 2 days it was really bad. And then I'm like, every day, you can even ask my husband, I would get up and I would stand and I would like try and move around, see what was working. And then I'm like, like shadow boxing, like, I think I could go to striking. I can go hit mitts tomorrow. Like it was like 2 days after the injury. So just always
Uh-huh.
testing, pushing the boundaries of what I can do and finding ways to work around the injuries instead of just like not doing
Yeah, like
anything.
sitting on the couch. But that's crazy though.
Yeah. Yeah.
What advice can you give to aspiring MMA fighters, people who are just starting?
I mean, make sure you find the right coaches, the right people for you. I think that's been huge for me. I've been really lucky to um to have the like really good, just kind of like fall into place with some really good people that have like great experience. And then I think I think a lot of people underestimate like the ground game, like jujitsu. If you're fighting somebody, like if those skills, it's like I think a lot of people are like, oh, like I did a little bit, I know how to do an armbar, knew how to do a rear naked choke, those kinds of things. But just learning how to like really having really solid fundamentals just is I think really important in the sport. And just be training, just always be learning, like absorbing things. Don't act like you know it all. Like really just be open to learning and getting better every day. Don't take 6 months off at a time because like you I think a lot of people in MMA, they train only when they have a fight. And it's just like
Mhm.
that's the time you're tightening things up, you're putting your game plan together. For me, the learning, the growth comes in between those moments. So like always be like, adding things to your game and learning, and like you're never done. That's the thing. It's like there's always more to learn, there's always more to improve on. So
Mhm.
always be training.
Yeah, like a full year-long season. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite hobbies are outside of MMA?
Outside of MMA, I mean, it's something I haven't got to do in a long time. Um, because here in San Diego, I love just going to the beach, hanging out. But back home, I'm from Missouri originally. I used to love going horseback riding. That was like one of my favorite things to do. I like actually miss it. It's just like a really relaxing, fun way to like just have a good afternoon.
Mhm. Have you done it here like recently? I'm actually trying to like ride a horse too, but I don't know if there's
Oh,
any places
really?
in San Diego.
So I have a couple friends that have horses. So that's something that actually three different people in the last like week or so have told me. So I don't know exactly where they are, but I live up North County in well like kind of North County, but my friends have horses really close. So yeah, they told me that I can come ride with them sometimes. So I just gotta like make the time to do that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do you have a
Yeah.
specific opponent in mind for your next fight?
I don't have anybody specific. I don't think that's something that I'm like, I don't care who it is. I want to somebody that's ranked, and I just want to like whatever is going to get me to that title. So I'll take anybody.
Mhm. You have a bunch of jiu-jitsu accolades with ADCC and IBJJF. I said that right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. But what achievement meant the most to you?
I think one of my it still stands out to me because uh it's funny because at brown belt I won the worlds. That was my first world title, at the adult world title. And something about that particular experience, just still like I'll watch the video sometimes, even going back and just like reliving that moment. And it's like still gets me kind of emotional. Like I'm like, oh my God, I could cry. I was like, I remember how happy I was, those kinds of things. So that's probably one that stands out to me. It's not necessarily but winning like Nogi Worlds too is like a huge thing because I was like black belt world title that really meant a lot to me.
Mhm. Who are your role models in the fight game?
Um, I'm not sure. I I have a lot of like people that I admire. I love watching, it's like it's nice. I love to watch people like Damian Maya who like really use jujitsu, stuck to like the jujitsu and MMA. That's somebody that I admire a lot. And then there's a ton of women that I look up to, you know, Kat Zingano and Angela Hill are my training partners, but in a lot of ways they're like role models to me too, because they're really like showing me the way to like to do this, and like giving me a lot of like really good advice and just guidance throughout my career.
Mhm. It's amazing. I really appreciate this interview. It was really good.
Yeah. Awesome.